I don't know how that's open.
Look, don't wear pants.
では、前に出ます。
Good evening, everyone. Or I guess I could still say good afternoon. I just got the tweet out. Do me the favor, chat. Go give the stream tweet some love. And again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Hope you guys are doing good. We have a little bit of an early stream for today. I'm starting 2 hours earlier because I will be ending 2 hours earlier. I actually just got done cooking, setting up to cook my pot roast in the slow cooker. So if you guys want to go check that out, I posted it in food posting. Had to double check the date. Yeah, it's early Thanksgiving. But hello, everybody. Hope everybody is doing good today. Sorry, just fixing my hair and everything. Cat early, whoa. Yeah, that's because, so today we only worked like a half day, so I didn't have to like come home from work like just now or anything like that. Like I would normally be getting home like in the next couple minutes. So basically this enabled me to kind of go live a little bit earlier, get to some of you guys that are a little bit more on the like hey, I have to leave stream early side of things normally, as now I'm actually live a little bit earlier for you guys. Okay. Finally got my Tez to bottom 9 today. Nice, congrats. And yes, yesterday was date night for me. I basically ended up like just kind of eating dinner with the girlfriend at my house here because she was on her way down to her family, and she actually, ironically enough, like drives right through my town. So I was just like, oh, okay, sweet. So basically, she brought some stuff by. We ate for and talked for a couple of hours, and then she left. But nothing too much. Just kind of nice casual date for once. Gotta build my raid comps now. Yeah, I mean, you can. Like I said, I don't think the raids you're really gonna get too much out of them other than the final one, and that one even it's just gonna kind of be like a 24-hour ordeal. Let me double check to make sure. I was gonna say I don't think I actually have um stuff here, so I need 3 neutral servants. I can probably find those in Fuyuki. Well, hold that thought. Let's take a look here. Helping mommy prepare Thanksgiving dinner for tomorrow. Nice. It's too busy because main story in January, though. Christmas Lotto this year? Yeah, for an A. NA has a Lotto coming up, and we probably know the date of it. The casual date? Yes. Got Nero Bride to Bond 15. Ooh, that's impressive. I've been using my Nero Bride off and on for years, and I still have not gotten it there, but I also assume, like, to some degree, it may be, like, somebody that you wanted to get to Bond 15. Wait, hold on. What am I doing? I'm going through the dailies, but, oh, really? So I don't really have any... don't really have any rank up quests. I guess we'll do Voyager's rank up here. And somehow I stopped with only one tick of it left. And hello, King. Hello, Lurid. Hello, everybody in the YouTube side of things. Other guy, Koyan, Sky, Morgan, and Oberon to bottom 15. Nice. Congratulations. Or rip, depending on how you look at it. Hello, Kitch. I was expecting each wave to last 2 to 3 hours each, raid wave. Yeah, I mean, they might. I'm just gonna say, like, in 2 to 3 hours. So, like, let's say it's 3 hours, okay? And I honestly, I think when we looked at the timers, it was not even for most of them. But let's say it's 3 hours. 3 hours with a raid, I'm gonna say it's probably roughly about 2 minutes a run, right? So even at like peak efficiency, you have 180 minutes. At 2 minutes a run, you're gonna get like 90 runs, and that's not insignificant. That's like resources if you need them. But it's not gonna be like, oh, bro, I can just sit here and do like 500 runs of this stuff and just kind of like mow down your resource needs. And that's why, like, to me, I'm not putting too much stock in the raids as like being that big of a deal. I think the bigger one's going to be the one that actually does last the better part of the day at the end. Nearest my waifu, so I take her to every single farming opportunity. Yeah, I figured that was the case. It's just I haven't seen a Bond 15 Euro bride in a hot second. Got Dante's off a daily single, didn't realize he was story locked. Yep. So I don't have to keep changing them. I mean, you can. You don't really have to. Like, basically, a lot of them should be pretty easily, like, handled with a generic setup. The problem is going to be if you're trying to do some of the top tier ones, like, and you don't have a damage bonus unit from the event. That's where I think a lot of people will struggle, is just simply that there's not like a damage bonus CE in the event. So a lot of it's going to come down to just the strength of your units. And if you have a strong enough like setup, you'll probably be fine. If you don't, could be some issues. Yeah, sorry. I think I read Dante, but I like said it as Dante's. That was my bad. They're talking about Dante Alighieri. Like how many people want to go raid at Saturday at 11 p.m. Eastern? Right. And that could definitely be a thing. Like maybe stuff ends up living longer, or it could just be it's set to the automated timers. Because I think if I remember correctly, looking at it, it's like stuff kind of died around the 3 hour mark, regardless. So did that give me a neutral? It did not. Damn. I was really hoping that. Ah, no. Not doing the Dante one. Sorry, Dante's. Yeah, it looks like we're just going back to Fuyuki for our neutral. Because there should be a neutral there. You could say night. West Coast wins again. I mean, West Coast wins quite literally just due to the fact that, like, the devs favor it immensely for everything. Which I think is actually, like, a stupid strategy on their part. Wait, really? So there is no neutral here? Am I blind? I could have sworn there was a neutral. I may have to step it up to... Yeah, I guess not. We're gonna have to go up to, Orléans. Just move to Oregon? No, thanks. I'm good. I like me some rainy weather, but there's a point where it's like this is just England without any of the benefits of England. I haven't done Marseille like since they did the update that gave us this interface. Oh my god, dude. Is it gonna be Septum? There's a benefit to England? Yeah. Oregon is just West Coast Florida? Nah. Unless you just mean like in the insanity index. I was gonna say, does a neutral character just not exist? Nobody is neutral. But I hope chat's having a good day. Hope everybody is having a good, like, week here as we're headed into the holidays. I need LB4 eggs. Would it be better to do a few runs of the raid to save my apples for the Christmas 90 plus plus? It depends on like how much you plan to do and like how many apples you have. But like if you desperately need eggs, I don't see a problem with it. About FGO's future development and what do we want to see? Um I think this is a difficult concept because I think everybody really wants to look at it from the player's perspective. Some people will want to look at it from the developer perspective. And this is funny because I was just talking with Spartan about this off stream earlier, but nobody really wants to look at it from Nasu's perspective. So let's take these three. What does the future of the game look like in each of these scenarios? The player wants the future of the game to be perpetual in some cases, but there is definitely a mixed bag here. I'm going to say, realistically, the one that actually wants it to be perpetual is probably the developer. The developer wants everything to kind of just keep going without anything necessarily having to change so that they keep getting paid, they keep being able to do stuff, and the only changes that they would want to see would be changes that would benefit them and make their lives easier from a developer standpoint. Nasu wants the game to probably end. Not that it's not making him a ton of money, but I think Nasu is coming at this from a writer's approach, and that's that he has been working on a singular story for like 10 years now, and he would really just like it to be over, and so that he can focus on other projects and other things. Problem is, it is the primary breadwinner. It is what is paying his bills and keeping the lights on. So I think he begrudgingly has now had to kind of admit that like this project is necessary. And then again, like we said, the player I think wants it to go on, but the player wants there to be a lot more revitalization, a lot more changes, improvements to the game, or again, potentially a second version of the game. Now, the reason I say that, and the reason I say probably, is because there is a contingent of players, I believe, that want to be done with FGO, but they almost have like sunk cost fallacy. And so they sit out there and they bash the game left and right, and they're just low key hoping that the devs end the game to give them the excuse to not have to like quote unquote quit it and get, basically dragged for having a poor opinion of the game. And I see this happen in, social media and stuff all the time. So I think these are your three angles, and player's the only one that's actually kind of split. Like, and I could say 50-50, but it's not split 50-50. I think it's split like 90-10 in terms of like the malcontents versus the contents. So at the end of the day, I think this is a really interesting concept because I think if we start looking at like, okay, so what would we like to see change in FGO? I'm sure a lot of people would like to see graphical enhancements. Some people would like to see the gameplay style of the game change. And some people just basically think that like there's no way any of this is going to happen and you would need an FGO 2 for that sort of thing to happen. If you look at this from the dev perspective, I think the devs really do want to make some quality of life adjustments, but I do think at the end of the day that they're kind of being hamstrung by the side of like Type Moon, as well as potentially their own limitations due to the lack of staffing and the issues perchance with their funding. Because I do believe that there's maybe behind the scenes some sort of like ongoing problem of how much money Sony and Aniplex are pumping back into the game as opposed to how much they're milking it for. So the devs definitely get kind of caught in the middle of that sort of issue. I also think that Nasu, as we mentioned before, he's talked about there being potentially like an epilogue, so he's committing at least to continue to support FGO for a little bit. But he has begrudgingly admitted that if the fans really want it, they will continue the story. So I think he's just kind of like, fuck, I want out from this, but I can't get out from this. And I'm just going to say at the end of the day, while I would say most people should feel sorry for Nasu and be empathetic towards him, the reason that I generally don't is just due to the fact that this is kind of a problem of Nasu's own making, because Nasu has not been a very good delegator when it comes to certain responsibilities, and that's why he's so run down and overworked at times, is because he just has to have oversight on every single little thing that happens. And that definitely, I think, causes him to burn out at times. It definitely causes him to feel a lot more like negative towards the game, when I think at the end of the day he is still proud of it and does still enjoy his time with it. It's just one of those things where he has other like desires and he can't really get to them because he can't seem to delegate his workload. But yeah, I think like there's a lot of different angles to look at it at. I think asking for something like an FGO2, like it's great. I think a lot of us would hope that they would do something like that, but I don't think it's very feasible for Nasu or the devs. And I think it's more on the realm of like the players would wish for this, but the devs wouldn't actually. And also because I think on the corporate side of things, we have the possibility of like, how would an FGO2 look? What would be happening there? And the players would hope that like everything gets carried over to an FGO2, but the reality of business would be that they would probably not allow you to carry over anything, or maybe just like one small thing, because the game still has to make money, and there's no point in investing, millions of dollars into the development of a new project if it's not going to make any money. So allowing the player base to keep everything they already had is probably folly on behalf of the players to think that that would ever actually occur. I think looking at it from again a player standpoint, though, probably the most likely one to occur is the idea that maybe the game can be revamped and revitalized rather than looking for a second form. The extent of that, though, is largely going to depend on the devs, and I think that is going to be the primary limitation of like just how much can the devs actually change the game? How much do they actually want to? Because you have this sort of past like progress and community that you've built up, versus if you change the game too much, you risk putting that all into the fire. So it's like it's not something you want to do, is basically rock the boat too much and get people upset over the game changing a whole lot. But at the same time, there's some people in the community that absolutely want the game to change a whole lot. So I think it's a difficult situation. I think they find themselves a little bit between a rock and a hard place. And I expect that what's going to happen is probably that we will get some pretty modest like quality of life and upgrades to the game as we end part 2 and move into a potential third part, assuming the game does continue on and we don't just get the epilogue treatment that Nasu was talking about. But we'll just have to see. I think all of this stuff is very much in the eye of the beholder. There's definitely things that players want, but a lot of it's important to keep in mind the like sort of macro forces pushing and pulling on FGO, which are, the devs' capabilities, Nasu's desire, and Type Moon's desire to continue going, as well as Aniplex and Sony's desire to actually fund a much more vibrant version of the game, as opposed to just milking it and continuing to milk it until it runs dry. It's a good question. They can end FGO after they finally get extra remake out. I do think one of the big things still hanging over the top of Nasu is essentially his desire to do Tsukihime. And yes, this is an early start today. We're starting 2 hours early because we're ending 2 hours early. Uh, El Sinaldo, thank you for the follow. Welcome. And thank you to the people that followed as well when I was offline yesterday. I wish I could tamper my wish for more QOL for regular FGO. Yeah, I think like expecting quality of life is not an unreasonable request of the player base. Expecting upgrades to the game, it depends on what upgrade you're asking for as to whether or not it's reasonable or not. And then I think at the end of the day, expecting like a new game, I'm just going to say it's like a pipe dream. It's not impossible. Something like that could happen. I will just go ahead and like freely admit that that could be something that they've secretly been working on behind the scenes. But we don't really see indications of that at the current point in time. We do see that again, like maybe they're hiring more people. I think that's what the Kitishan stuff was referring to there. But at the end of the day, we'll just have to see whether or not like anything like that pans out because they've been trying to hire people for years. So I don't know if it necessarily will be an immediate like impact type of deal or if it's something that we just won't feel for years. If you're getting live 2D would be cool, but I doubt the engine can do it. The engine's actually not a problem. The engine is Unity, and Unity actually runs a lot of modern games. The question would be more, could your phone handle it? But the odds are yes. Like if your phone can run, like, say, Genshin on it, your phone can definitely run live 2D. The biggest issue that they have is actually their continued use of sprites instead of 3D assets. That does probably give them a little bit of a hard time when it comes to both animating and artistic hirings. Any carryover from 1 to 2 be some sort of veteran mark or badge at most. I mean, I could see a future where they maybe allowed you to carry over like your favorite character or like maybe even like a handful of them. I can't see them allowing you to carry over like your entire roster. I like that sounds great. I would love that. You guys would love that. That's exactly why it won't happen. Because why do we want that? Well, because none of us wants to pay money. Well, ask yourself what the developers would want. They would want you to pay money. So it's just one of those things where it's like the player is at odds with, I mean, I say the developer, technically not the developer, with like the producer and like, the company functionally running FGO needs to make money off of it. Real question is the FLog will be its own thing. Remember Nasa saying the Valentine's Day will be fulfilling after main story will end. Yeah, I mean, he just basically said that everyone would get their like Valentines and that nobody needs to worry about like some of the newer characters getting left out. That's kind of what my takeaway was from that, was that a like, don't worry, there will still be a Valentine's Day to make sure everybody gets their like stuff. But yeah, whether or not we actually get to see the epilogue that he's talking about, and when he's talking about this epilogue idea, it's more of a episodic thing because he's talking about kind of how they handled Tsukihime in the past, where they did like chapter releases after the fact for individual characters. So this would be more something like that, where he's saying like, hey, the main story is concluded, but we'll still continue on with the occasional like almost interlude-esque style thing every now and then. So we would just have to see whether or not they would continue something. Will Tsukihime Red Garden actually release? Nobody knows that except Nasu. My biggest fears of FGO2 are a relic system and no say Shonagon. I mean, not every single gacha game that's come out is using the Genshin style relic system, thank god. I think like that is one of my biggest hangups with a lot of gacha games that do use it, though, is I just look at that and I go like, nah, I don't care. But I do understand why people would fear something like that. I would hope they wouldn't. I think that's honestly, I don't think it's actually a terribly effective way of player retention, because I think like Genshin has that big issue of like they release some new content, people go out, they farm it, They get what they need, and then they're kind of done for the next couple months, and they just don't like do much of anything other than maybe log in and do dailies. I would not be surprised if FGO2 was literally Genshin Fate Edition. No, I think, and let's be honest here too. Ask yourself what Nasu plays. So I think if you ask yourself that, then the far more likely conclusion would be that if FGO were to get like fixed up or redone, that it would be more like Star Rail rather than Genshin, which is hilarious because Star Rail is 100% derivative of FGO. It's just when you have the full might of like a Chinese conglomerate and billions of dollars behind you, like, yeah, they did it better basically than FGO in terms of like being able to build the game from the ground up and like continuing to produce it over time. It's not to me that it's necessarily a better product than FGO. It's more like they just have the capability of kind of continuously like simultaneously releasing all of this shit across the globe. So it's a lot more logistically savvy than something like FGO with its very antiquated approach to things can handle. If you don't get carryover, I follow it, but not play it myself. Yeah, and I think that's the problem. I've seen people say like, well, if they don't do that, everyone would quit. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would still play. And the hilarious part about this sort of thing would also be that as you do something like that, a good chunk of the player base probably continues to um, like come back, but also a new chunk shows up as people are curious to check out what the new deal is. Like you consider the greater gacha gaming sphere as a whole. If you do some sort of new game or something like that, you're gonna get a shit ton of content creators coming in trying to cover the game. And that's going to bring in a lot of interest. That's going to bring in a lot of new blood as people just want to check out and see what's different from the first game. Because if you guys remember, the biggest knock that FGO really ever had was this gacha system. If something like that changes and they basically have a different system for a new game, that would be something where I think like all of a sudden everyone would be like, whoa, hey. And I think you'd get a lot of people checking the game out. I'm thinking your grands at best. Yeah, I would say continuing the entire roster would just not happen. Not unless they found some way to like port over all the data from FGO1 into an FGO2. And that chat, let's be honest, you'd be looking at the equivalent of Overwatch 2, where it's like, it's a new game. No, it's not. Like, no. What's up, Cal? Chat was asking me about the continued future of FGO and like what my thoughts are on it and like kind of the possibilities for something like that. I don't think it'll be Lilith again in the Valentines. As nice as that would be, I'm gonna assume it's probably going to be whatever character we didn't get that we were supposed to get this year. Did we get news about part 3 FGO or something? No. Just hypotheticals. Again, as always. Didn't Honkai Star Rail imitate Lost Belt 7 with its Lost Link? I don't know. Like, I don't closely follow Honkai Star Rail. I played it on launch for a couple of weeks, and then I just said, no, this isn't it for me. And it was mostly just to see, like, what the competition was doing. I couldn't be bothered with the Fate HSR, no matter how much better managed it is. Yeah. Dark Souls Fate? I would love a Dark Souls-like game. Going pretty good, JC. How are you doing? Yes, we are streaming 2 hours early because we are ending 2 hours early. Overwatch 2 is a terrible sequel. Right. But that's what I'm saying. It's like everybody perceived Overwatch 2 as this is just Overwatch 1 with a new coat of paint. if you did something like we were just talking about with like a port over, that's exactly how people would perceive an FGO2. And the unfortunate nature of that is that it basically carries over all of the good, but also all of the bad expectations and kind of notoriety of the first game. That's one of the reasons why you want a true like sequel instead of just doing what Overwatch 2 did. Lady Snake, I assume. Oh, that'd be an interesting one. I think there's definitely a couple of NPCs that came out this past year that people would be really interested to see. I'm going to Florida in a couple hours. My condolences. What's up, Ice? It even copied or deal call one story. Yeah, I mean, the reason that like I don't like go off on something like that nowadays is because it's just blatantly obvious to me that a lot of MiHoYo stuff has been copying Fate for a while. Like it's not news to me anymore. I it's known. People try to deny it. I laugh at them, and it is what it is. It doesn't mean they don't do new stuff themselves. It's just one of those deals where it's like, yeah, it does seem like a lot of their ideas come from other sources. Honestly, I would like them to do a Fate game in the Tales of style or the Star Ocean combat style. That'd be interesting. I wouldn't mind like just a turn-based JRPG. Because that is close to what FGO is. It's just FGO doesn't quite have the same feel to it. Do you think Solomon Glacial will finally be playable? If they are the Grand, yes. Fate Time Strangler? Okay. Are we getting the Ruler Kenshin banner first or later? That is the second banner. First one is God, what's his face? The Tiger of Kai. Whose name is suddenly escaping me. Guy that fought with Uesugi Kenshin. Takeda Shingen, thank you. It's like I'm literally sitting there. I've played thousands of hours of Shogun 2 and I can't remember the guy's name all of a sudden. I mean, we could strangle time too. I know. It'd be a Fate EO game? Wait, what do you mean by EO? Kingdom Hearts X Fate Grand Order? Please, dear God, no. Okay. Chat, I'm about to say some shit, and I'm just going to apologize in advance for it. I kind of hate Kingdom Hearts as an idea. Hear me out as to why, okay? I know people have played it and they love those games. That's not what I'm talking about. I hate the fact that Kingdom Hearts is literally just Disney seeing Square Enix's popularity with JRPGs, saying, I want that, stealing the formula, and then getting rid of all the JRPG element out of it and being like, now we have a Disney JRPG. Sorry, getting rid of all the Japanese element out of it and now saying we have a Disney RPG. Like the first game, I feel like still blended the two ideas and it was somewhat interesting. The second game onward, it feels like the Final Fantasy side of it is just completely bereft. And I would worry that any sort of collaboration with Fate would do the exact same thing again. You would be like, oh, I summon Mickey. And you'd be like, God damn it, dude. Remember how Nasu said after part 2 they'd be interested in doing outside IP for collabs, so I guess it's time for Dark Souls X FGO part 3. I do wonder about that sort of thing as to whether or not like we're actually going to get something like, who knows, maybe you get the Honkai Star Rail collab in reverse. after part 3. I couldn't tell you, but it's definitely a weird thing to me. Feels mostly Disney with a hint of Final Fantasy. It's got like Final Fantasy theming to it, but like almost all the Final Fantasy characters are actually gone from Kingdom Hearts, and that's why I don't like it. Actually, Disney goes through Tetsuya Nomura for anything Kingdom Hearts. They really only make Kingdom Hearts if he approves it. Okay. Well, guess what? That just means Tetsuya Nomura, as good as he may be, is shit when it comes to this. He totally fucked the Final Fantasy side of things. That's on him. Somebody has to answer for the fact that in the first game it was Disney and Final Fantasy, and in the second game it was just Disney. And I say that it wasn't just Disney. There was still some Final Fantasy, but it was pretty much almost gone in the second game, and then the third game, my understanding, it is completely. Studio Ghibli Kingdom Hearts would go kind of hard if done right. Only if you send them a samurai sword and threaten to cut their head off if they do anything. Kingdom Hearts 3 has 0 Final Fantasy characters in it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I don't like that trend. Like no matter how much it's Tetsuya Nomura, it's on him if that's the way things ended up. Like it just became a Disney game. Which let's be honest for a second too. Um Square Enix is just not doing good for themselves anymore. Like they are just down in the shitter. I will not be surprised to see like some form of Square Enix bankruptcy announcement in the next like 5 years. Just because I think they're very similar to Ubisoft in the fact that like they are like one more bad game away from the whole studio just getting tanked because their obligations are way too steep and their success is way too few. Like I'd say Square Enix's current success, and this is arguable, is the FF7 remake and basically Final Fantasy 14. Both of these kind of trended down with their most recent iterations. Final Fantasy 14 has announced that they're going to revitalize it, so hopefully it trends back up. 7R is on the third game, but I hate to say it, unless it's the most amazing looking thing ever. I think the kind of bird has flown the coop on that one for a lot of people. Didn't Disney lose the Ghibli copyrights in America? That I don't know. You guys are more familiar with Ghibli lore than I am. I'm still just watching it. We last weekend we started watching Castle in the Sky, but we never got to finish the movie. I think we were only through like the first hour or so of it. Have you seen the Assassin's Creed Shadows collab with Attack on Titan? I have seen the animation of Yasuke challenging the Titan, running away, and then getting like squashed to death. That's literally the equivalent of what I've seen of it. What do they say about revitalizing 14 CAD? I don't know. It's implied like Yoshi P said some nonsense in an interview about like, oh, we're gonna do what we did with 2.0 again. And I'm like, I don't believe that. Like it's one thing to say that, it's another thing to do it. We refused to give Monolith Soft back its original IP, and that IP is Xenogears. Yeah. I feel like if there's some sort of like split custody like that, the like original should be able to sue for it back if the other party doesn't do anything eventually. But it is what it is. Also a vague, we want to do it, but no definitive action plan. Right. It was just a line that was thrown out in a thing. And I think it's, let's be honest, I think it's because 14's kind of struggling right now with their like most recent expansion. Um, I think a lot of people have kind of just put 14 on the back burner for a bit. Also, be funnier if Nintendo sued Square because of Monolith Soft being purchased by Nintendo. I'm just happy that it seems like Nintendo's going to lose out on trying to go after whatchamacallit, Pal World. So it's like that's definitely a nice thing. Like I know some people don't like Pal World, that's fine. I get that, but the way in which Nintendo was going after them was very, very bad for everybody else in the video games industry. Like that was going to have a whole lot of terrifying repercussions. Granted, I think there's repercussions on the other end too, which is that if you're borderline copyright infringement, but you don't actually pass the test for that, that it looks like it's going to become harder and harder to stop somebody from making a derivative product. All right, stay safe, JC. Have a good one, bud. I think that second rebirth things is Yoshi P making good with what he said about 14 having a new entry point, which to be fair, it does need. I've talked about that with FGO, and that's the idea of if you start the game today, so if you are a new player, you have to do all of part one, all of part two, all of Ordeal Call, which is technically part two, and then the like finale to get to a potential part three. That is a huge fucking problem. The better way to handle it is to just say all of this is sequentially required for itself, but this is now its own new thing, and you can start here. So you have a like soft reboot. The problem with this sort of thing is that if you're a veteran player, that becomes incredibly boring gameplay wise for you. However, I do think in the course of like one chapter, you could quickly ramp people up with the way the game systems are now. Or you could try to do something like a easy mode, hard mode of story type deal. So I do think there's multiple ways to handle it. Nintendo loses against Power World. Nintendo had a couple of its patents challenged over here in the States that it had previously won. And it looks like they basically got thrown out. So it's a good thing for Pal World in that regard. And really just a good thing for the gaming industry as a whole, because it means that Nintendo won't be able to throw their weight around by causing a like patent war in the gaming industry, which is a major problem if they do, because the second Nintendo gets away with that, everybody else is going to start trying to do it, because it'd be the only way to defend yourself from Nintendo. And then you have a dysfunctional industry that would just be killed off by infighting, where one company has one patent, another company has another patent. Those two patents can never be combined, and now you can't make a functional video game because of it. So it's like that's what you don't want to see happen. Also, I'd love it if Yoshi P and the 14 crew did to Blizzard what Blizzard did to 14. Look at all the stuff that people really like about the other game and do your version of it. What do you mean? Because, well, yes, Blizzard has more recently looked at 14 and taken stuff from that. I hate to break it to you, The originator of this was actually 14 looking at Blizzard, stealing from them. Sorry, it's 14 looking at WoW, stealing from WoW, who later stole back from 14. So if they do this again, it's just literally par for the course, and you're just creating a feedback loop, which they could do. It's just, yeah, 14's actually the one that started that. Which is interesting also in the sense that there's a lot of like, how should I put it? There's a lot of like forgetfulness on behalf of gamers because pretty much every single game is built off of its predecessors. Like WoW gets a lot of its concepts from a game called EverQuest. And EverQuest gets a lot of its concepts from even older games like Ultima Online and stuff like that. So it just kind of, each game seems to stand on the shoulders of their predecessors, and people are way too quick now to like call it theft and everything. But part of the issue with this is that games are sticking around for far longer than they ever did in the past. Let me give you an example, chat. When I was a kid, we played a lot of games on like CDs and stuff, and then eventually things came to Steam. But live service, internet connections, these were not really things that were involved in the development process. You'd maybe have an internet connection and stuff in the realm of like, hey, you wanted to play multiplayer with your friend, right? You didn't have games getting developed with that always online connection in mind. Simultaneously, you didn't have an ecosystem that was digital to allow games to continuously be updated and keep going for years and years and years. So that's why, like, prior to that, you had games that would last maybe like a year or two. And I'm not saying that's live service. That was their popularity arc. Maybe if they got an expansion, they would be extended for a little bit more. But then it would be on to the next one. And basically what you have nowadays is you have games that have lasted for 5, 10, 15, even 20 years, chat. WoW celebrated its 20th anniversary. Think about that. That's like fucking crazy. And still it is one of the dominant forces in the market. Same thing if you look at something like League of Legends or Dota. It's like they've been going on for a long period of time. So this live service model is beginning to like string things out and just drag it out as much as possible. And I think it's causing a little bit of pressure because it's like it stifles innovation a little bit, where the people that would actually be innovating can't do so for fear of copying their predecessor, which is still around, type deal. Sorry, guys, no one can have demons in games besides blank company. Right, yeah. Howard poke the sleeping bear and find out, don't get me wrong, I don't mind references, but don't make it obvious that you're copying another IP. Yeah, I do agree with that too. I think, like, we were just talking about it earlier, it was like Star Rail's pretty obviously copying Fate. It just is what it is. And unfortunately, I think in a lot of cases it goes like unpunished. But then when you get to somebody like Nintendo has the money and the power to kind of throw that around and do something about it. But also at the same time, Nintendo didn't go after them in the conventional way because Nintendo thought they would lose. And instead, Nintendo tried this like ulterior motive of doing it. And it, again, I think like that's something that actually put the gaming industry in jeopardy, because if they actually got away with it, and it looked like they were going to for a bit here, it was going to have a whole lot of negative repercussions for the future of how games were made. Can you just start on part 3? What, for like FGO? I'm proposing that as a like potential solution. It's like Nikke story mode. I know Nikke wasn't the first one to do it. I think the easy and hard mode, or like the story mode and hard mode versions of things, have been a thing in gacha games, at least since like I think the original Girls Front Line did it. Like I don't probably even older than that as far as I know. That's what happens when you have two big game companies competing with each other. Yeah, absolutely. Especially games that last as long as WoW and Final Fantasy 14. Right. Which, to be fair, I feel like if there's any genre where the game actually should last a long period of time, it should be an MMO, right? Like, think about that. Of course. Of course it should be an MMO. But it's one of those things where I think like even if you look at something like WoW, I think the reasonable expectation for the shelf life of a game, even as a live service long running style, should be like 10 years. I think after that, you need to start asking yourself, should you be releasing a sequel? Should you be doing other things? And it's like I'm really surprised, for instance, if we look at something like WoW, it's like, why haven't you made a WoW 2? Or at least like a different MMO to kind of get a lot of other people into? It's kind of surprising to me because I know they've thought about it a couple times, but they haven't actually pulled the trigger. And I think part of that's because there's some risk involved. Like, let's take Overwatch again here. Overwatch knew if they just came out with an Overwatch 2 that was a shit ton of work and it was not guaranteed to succeed. And to their credit, they were right. Why do I say that? Because Overwatch 2, when it came out, was a disaster. Like, it did not succeed really off the back of it being the second game, quote unquote. It succeeded due to the nostalgia of the first and people just not wanting to give it up, and quite literally a competitor coming out in Marvel Rivals that forced it to finally, like, be a little bit more consumer friendly. They kind of had a captive market, and all of a sudden, the second it was jeopardized, they had to improve the game. And the second they improved the game, oh, look, Overwatch is doing better now because of it. It was just a really hilarious scenario for me to see that sort of thing as they kind of fell back into success. Brad did a good job of going, oh, 14 does really well. Let's try to copy that style of storytelling. Yeah, and I do agree with that. I think 14's strong point is its storytelling, but it's also one of its like critical weaknesses, depending on how you look at it. What about RuneScape? I mean, RuneScape, they've tried to make a new one and they've gone back to the original. And I think to a degree, it's the same problem with WoW, where like WoW Classic is actually more like beloved than retail WoW is now. Yeah, I have developers that have worked with specific IPs and people complaining about them taking ideas from older games. The anime game that had the Spider-Man swinging stuff. Oh yeah, and it's entirely possible. It's like that developer's the person that actually came up with it, so it's their idea type deal. When you go watch an old small commentary YouTuber with 300k subscribers, only to see he scrubbed his entire channel, it makes me sad. An old small commentary YouTuber with 300k subscribers. Do you mean like originally he was old and small? Because like, fuck, dude, I would like 300k subscribers. Pies baked, gravy made, potatoes not rotten. Ready for the big day? Nice, Erebus. Do you know if there's a the mouth gimmick in Tiamat's MP there? You can tell the designers had fun with it. I think the designers do have a lot of fun with the like characters in this game. Joking has several levels of difficulty of their story, yeah. But the actual normal mode for the rewards and stuff. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. Like I said, I feel like games have been doing that for a while now. I know it's been requested of FGO to get to that point. Whether or not it actually does, I think remains to be seen. Promise of Overwatch 2 is PvE. Yeah, and that didn't get delivered on. Thought you were taking today off, Gad? No, I pinged Discord yesterday. I told you guys today was just going to be an earlier stream. Yesterday was off. Who's your favorite servant, Valentine's servant scenario? Buntoria. Adam Dumb, why is the Archer symbol flashy for the middle and back unit? Are you talking about... Are you talking about like this, for instance? Because this is just the symbol once they're grand, which is a new system on the JP side of things that NA does not have yet. Yeah, if you meant like in combat there, yeah, it's definitely the grand like the character's grand designation is actually active because it's not always active and everything. Is that a grand Squirtoria I see before me? Yeah. You guys want to see what my grands are? Here you go. Mr. Chubbs, hello, buddy. How's it going? Let me get you a shout out. If you guys have not followed Mr. Chubbs, go do so. He's a good buddy of mine, member of Team Explosion, my stream team. He was just playing some League. Are you raging? Oh, is it bad? How high are you ranked now? Yeah, these are all my grand designations. Caster's the only one we're still missing. So Caster is your grand caster, I presume? Yeah. Yep, I will take one for the team and do Castoria. That was a game, alright? Oh god. I have not moved from Plat 4. Yeah, I mean, you definitely get stuck in these sorts of things, and it requires you to not only be good, but also to, like, just have luck at the draw, I feel like, with the teammates you get. I was expecting Tonalico. Tonalico's Morgan. Not Artoria. Hmm. Oh, for a caster using a support MP helps finish the fight. I will assume it will, just simply because of how loaded the like support casters are. Talking about strange shows like My Strange Addiction and Extreme Cheapskates. Interesting. Never heard of it though. If you still lucky, you've already put yourself at a disadvantage too. Yeah. Do you watch Doctor Who? No, but my girlfriend does, and I've been talking with her about that because she's mentioned it to me before, and I was like, yeah, I mean, we could sit down and watch it at some point. She told me which one she wants me to start with, but I forget. I think it's I think the doctor she wants me to start with is it Smith Chat? I don't know. You guys have to tell me because I'm not familiar with exactly how like the dichotomy works there. There have been as many supports and casters there are damage dealers, pretty much, Cal. There's David Tennant as the 10th, and maybe that's where I'm starting. I like again, forgive me, chat. I'm just not super familiar with Doctor Who. Obviously. I haven't watched it. I'm tempted to go with Q Caster on main, having perfected my copy of him. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously there's a pattern to mine, chat. Shocking, I know. There's some good episodes in that era. Like I said, I'll leave it up to her as to how she wants me to approach it in the same way. So like she's gotten into Star Wars now because of me, and I've been like kind of taking her through the paces. Like, okay, let's start with the movies. Here's like how we're gonna do this because she had like some really she had something where it was like they were trying to make her watch it in chronological order, but it didn't even actually happen in chronological order, and I was like, huh? So I told her I was like, no, let's just start with the main movies. That's the way everyone else started. Like, to hell with this crazy online like order watch order. I started the series in the Ninth Doctor. It's all good. Always start from the release order. That's usually the case. Like, I feel like it's maybe different if we talk about something like Doctor Who, where it's been like, hasn't Doctor Who been getting recorded since like the 60s, chat? So it's like I get it in that regard where it's like there's so much of it, it's difficult to like say, hey, start with the first episode, because it just may not be everyone's cup of tea. Nice squad, bro. Thank you. Cat was asking about my grand, so hints. Grand cash prediction. I'm still in the Solomon camp. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Further back than that, CAD, Google says like 1963. Well, now I'm getting mixed signals from chat. Only a few videos are still on the platform due to a passionate fan base. Uh, Sorry to hear it. You start with the acolyte, then abandon the rest in disgust, right? Doctor Who is 62 years. Okay. I predict Shiva taking Solomon's power. I mean, that would at least be interesting. Like, I'd be okay with like a twist like that. Early stream, that's right, Shadow. Before it's Grand Merlin. I mean, Grand Merlin would not surprise me as well. Like, there's several candidates I know people have said. I've just stuck to my guns because it's been the one that I've been saying like since the Grand system was originally announced. And I was just like, nah, it's like my gut instinct is that it's that. Especially because that side of things is not, how should I put it, like that side of things is just not like, wow, my brain died. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I'd be disappointed if it's Taigong. Taigong, I would just be annoyed by because it feels like that was a bait and switch and we never got the caster form of him. 7 days, blood moons, what? Oh, Twitch is allowing people to get sponsored for Blue Protocol? Dude. Wait, is Blue Protocol actually out? Huh. Drinking milk and watching Fairy Tale? I see. I need to give me some eggnog. It's about that time of year. Possible Caster Holmes. Caster Holmes would be a really cool one. Church, thank you for the follow. Welcome. It's mixed on Steam. Yeah, it's just there's a like I can get like $50 if I stream it. I'm not gonna stream it for you guys tonight. Because I have to ask myself if I actually want that $50. There's a point where I look at stuff like that and I go like, is it worth my enjoyment? It's like not even like, is it worth subjecting you guys to? Is it like, do I even want to do it? We're gonna or totally go for the grand trial to be dope. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of them. I guess what I'm saying. There's a lot of people that they could pull for Grand Caster, and it just wouldn't be that crazy. Hmm. Sorry, Chad. I was just reading something. Weird. Anyways, I don't think Zelrich should be jumping the shark. Chat, FGO is ending if Zelrich appears in the game. I really do mean that. Like people were saying that shit about Arcuid. No, I actually mean if Zelrich appears like in physical form in the game, that is a sign that they have pulled their last card. Start with 0, if not Dean Stay Night. Yeah, I mean, I would hope people aren't spoiled, but it probably to a degree is. Wasn't Sword of Convallaria the tactics game with Gotcha? Yes, I believe so. It was supposed to be a like Final Fantasy Tactics Gotcha game, which is so funny because I feel like we're at the point where every single Gotcha game has like, sorry, every single like modern genre of game has been made into a gacha game now. Because I think it's the commonality, and it's just what we expect at this point. Okay, chat. Me gonna switch gears here because there's not really much to do for FGO for right now. We're kind of just in waiting mode. I think, is it tomorrow night we should get the NA event, or is it just straight up tomorrow, chat? You'd have to remind me. Are you saying Zarich is the FGO equivalent of pulling Exodia? Yes. Friday note? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's yeah, I was gonna say I think it's the 27th on their stuff, but it's 27th West Coast time. Yeah, if they make Zelrich part of the story and only the story, that's fine. If you fight Zelrich or you can summon Zelrich, FGO is ending. That's my take on it, at least. By the way, chat, there was the Black Friday discounts and stuff. There's a couple like nice ones in here. Doom Dark Age is already 50% off. Silent Hill's 50% off, but that's Silent Hill 2. I think there is like Battlefield 6 is already 15% off. Spider-Man 2 is 20%. There was another one though. I'm trying to remember what it was. Oh, it was Silent Hill F. Silent Hill F is like 20% off right now. Battlefield is free trial weekend. That's actually interesting. You can play it if you want. Perhaps. Perhaps, chat. So I thought about doing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 with you guys again today, and we probably still will at some point this week, but I wanted to go back in with Conan because I off stream hit a pretty like big milestone that'll make you guys actually be like, oh, okay, now I get it type deal. You going to get a Steam machine when it comes out? No, probably not. It would really depend on things, but I'm gonna say I think like there's no real reason to. Like I have good enough machines that like getting a Steam machine doesn't do much for me. Did you build Camelot again yet? No, I did not. Oh, I'm stuck in the wall. Hold on, chat. I have to log into the admin settings to teleport myself out when stuff like this happens. Which, if you want to see what that looks like... So again, I'm just stuck, rubber banding. The game will not let me out of this. You actually just take control right click if you have the admin settings, and boom. Now I'm teleported. So it works. But yeah, you guys can see there's been some changes to the base. We now have some newer stuff built. And what this is I have now hit level 58. I'm 2 levels off of the max level. But for all intents and purposes, I can start progressing things as basically now I have access to all of the like top end crafting stations. So that's primarily what we're going to focus on today, is that sort of thing. I'm also going to take this Setite mask that we got, because what this thing does, if you guys look down here, is that it has gas protection. That's actually, oh, whoops, sorry, I realized I'm on the wrong. That's actually like a really, really like nice thing, basically, to allow you guys to be able to get into certain areas. And in particular, one of the big things I'm desperately going to need is brimstone. So we're just going to go ahead and try to gather some brimstone. Which, let me double check to make sure I don't have something that's like, hey, go harvest brimstone. That doesn't look like it. I'll keep the gather black ice on. I had the rubber banding issue with my horse last time. Yeah, it usually just means that you're like stuck in a wall or something. It could also be connection issues too. I'm gonna tell my thralls to join me. You guys can see I have Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Delenzia. It's supposed to be Snow Hunter, but I changed it to Thought Hunter. Actually, both these two have their truncheons equipped, which truncheons are what you use to knock people out. It's definitely a nice thing to have, but ultimately, at the end of the day, I don't really care. And they're where we're headed, they're not going to need to be able to do stuff like that. They're going to instead need to be able to kill people. So we're going to give them back their actual weapons. I do have my pickaxe and my my star metal pick. Actually, a star metal pick's probably going to be the better one for gathering brimstone here, because it's really the only thing I care about. Yeah, let's see. Probably the fastest way to get to the brimstone area are my companions actually following me. Yes. Is going to be to go through the summoning circle here. Well, not summoning. This is the teleportation circle. I actually have not built more teleporters. I probably should. But I don't care too much. I have done some decent thrall farming. We now have a named blacksmith and named armorsmith as of earlier today, which is definitely nice. It's one of the things that was really kind of like open for, because they can be difficult to find sometimes. Do they need anti-poison gas mask 2 CAD, your thralls that is? I think it helps if they get it, but it's not going to be the end of the world here. Which actually, let's see. I'll take them in here. Let's see if I can get a second one for one of them. Because this is where I got my original one, killing these Setite priests in here. So you can see they wear them.
To the stillborn god.
Oh, am I in God mode? Hold on, chat. I think I'm in God mode. Yeah, I'm definitely in God mode. There we go. It happens sometimes. Damn. Brutal. Okay, all of that just to kill this one person, and they didn't drop the mask. You guys drop anything of value? Yes. Silver coins. Okay, now there should be a couple up here as well. Fatality, yep. Queen Hamadala. I do kind of look like that. Oh, Amnut the Blessed. Okay, hold on. Yeah, we gotta get our Amnut. Slap him. Damn, I like how they just, like... Bro just got hit with the, like, crossfire and got knocked out. There we go. So we did get another one. All right, come on, Amnut. We're gonna take you back to base. Amnut got knocked out. That's basically what happened. Wait, what? Does this change to, like, South Mammoth something? Actually, there's brimstone in that, I just realized. Must be where my brimstone supply went. Get pushing, Amnut. The wheel of forced friendship. You can see in the top left it says Sandstorm Mask. That is the same effect that this has, because Sandstorm Mask is what you would normally build for something like this. Do I have food? Why do I have so many feathers? Hold on. I don't want to be carrying stuff I don't need to carry. And I think that's from earlier when I built the table here. Let me eat something. I'll actually just take out the savory jerky. It's probably relatively good in terms of staying, because usually salted items preserve a little bit longer, so it won't just immediately go bad. What do named priests do? They're what I believe enables you to summon the god of their religion. But honestly, besides that, it's not a big deal. I have a tendency to collect named brawls just so that sort of thing helps out. Okay, so I'm stuck at 50 tainted. I'm gonna let this keep going and degrading my corruption until it kind of stops. And once it, like, really slows down and stops, then I won't. You've clearly become a sorcerer. Your citizens are just floating in the air. Yeah, that's just... I've not bothered to move them ever since they, like, first glitched out. I definitely can, though. Huh. Give me that. Okay, so they've gotten my corruption about as low as it can go. And where we're going to be heading is we're going to be heading up to these pools up here. It's a little bit easier to access from this side of things. That's why I teleported down here. Giant Scorpo. Time to go to the den and get the best dancer. I actually do have a dancer from the den already, but I don't... Is it Luba? Luba the Luscious? Which, ironically enough, is not that luscious. This is also a nice flat area if you want to build a base in as well. The problem with a lot of the flat areas in Conan is if you build there, you don't have good access to certain resources. That is a king scorpion there. That's why I said she's the best. Oh, there's permanent corruption? It's not truly permanent. It just basically lasts until your timer goes off. So it's like, it's a debuff that will keep some of the corruption on you for a bit. That's why I put dancers next to the portals. What's up, Field? How's it going? Okay, so we're back at the poison pool. Gonna ride on in here, kind of get what we can. I kind of gotta help them kill this. There we go. Because I forgot to take their truncheons off. So have your weapons back, because we might need them. Oh, God, he hit me through the thing. So basically, I'm here getting the brimstone. Brimstone is required to make steel fire. Which is required to make steel. Oh boy, salt. Ooh, better yet, brimstone. Oh my God, guys, please attack. Oh, at least these things have some brimstone on them. You're gonna see me just kind of chucking stuff in to the horse just so I have carry space. Really, it's kind of not worth my time to deal with the rock nose spawns that happen, but those trees look like they could be monsters too. I think it's because of, like, lore-wise, it's like what happened here. Like, this is a big, like, poison lake, so it's like some magical calamity. There we go. Yeah, there's the big rock nose three skull boss back there. I couldn't remember if he spawned right here or somewhere else. Okay, I have enough room for a little bit more. Actually, hold that thought. There we go. Now I have room for even more. Oh, there we go. Level 59. Gathering is what actually gets you the best experience in Conan. As you guys can see, I get, like, percentile experience. Kind of fucking hilarious. You could just spam gathering. And you will level up very fast. Why is there a Pokemon in Conan? Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's cap that out. Cap her out. Okay, so it looks like the most I can fit is that, which it is getting to be sundown soon. Get on my horse. Right over to one of the other sections. Interestingly enough, it doesn't look like the thralls are affected by it, so I probably don't need that second mask. That was close. Hate those insects, man. Fast as fuck, boy. You're never gonna catch me. Okay, now I'm over encumbered, but let's see. I wouldn't mind hanging on to that crystal. I guess I'll just drop the stone? Shit. I don't know why those things are so damn expensive. Okay, if I hold a stack of gruel for one of them, that's better. So let's go ahead, let's get out of here. Since it is becoming night, it's going to become hard to see otherwise. How long has it been since you've gone brimstone mining? Not that long. Believe it or not, I actually went several times because we would run out. You could definitely get a lot more than I could, but I've definitely done it. I just don't remember the lore of this particular place. The other jabronis never did? Yeah. I mean, just about everything in Conan I've had to do myself at one point or another. So that's why it's like, to a degree, it's like I absolutely can play this game solo. I was trying to look into getting a game called Aska, which the devs offered me a key, but now they're saying I have to apply for it. So I guess I'm not getting the key. I don't know. We'll see. But it's another survival craft game similar to this where you play as like a Viking, but instead you like... almost similar to like the thrall system, you have like villagers that help automate stuff for you. Varied biomes, yeah. And I mean, even their desert biome is just straight up better than Dune's. Dune definitely has the lore to their desert biome, It just looks like shit. Bro, Man walked in front of my horse. It's not my problem. Man walked in front of my horse. It's not my problem. There we go. Now we're back. At least we should be. Okay. We're so back. Yeah, I have Emu of Derketo because I went over to the Derketo Pavilion as well. And she just happened to be there. Bro, how does the horse run on top of me? Don't understand this sometimes. Okay, can you make steel fire? Dude, so Bob, maybe you can explain this because I don't get this. I built the Precision Alchemist. Oh, it's the bench. Fudge, no wonder. Okay, hold on. I was thinking this was the cauldron that I was building. I need bricks, I need insulated wood. Hardened steel bars. Ew. How many I got? I got a couple. Gonna dump all this right here for right now. That's my horse. Bro. I like how the thralls just keep walking through me and I just get caught on them. Okay, gonna let that fire. Alchemist and Fireball are different. No, it just, the bench. I thought I built the other one, but I think I clicked on the wrong one when I originally built it, and I just never rectified that. Okay, so I need 200 blocks. I got the insulated wood. Crafting. The hardened steel bars are going to be my problem, which I can definitely smash some stuff to get it. Let me see what I got hanging around. Yeah, hardened steel is just straight ass, so we're just gonna throw all of this into the meat grinder. I had been keeping some of this in case I needed to, like, gear people up, but I didn't. God damn, I'm still shy. Well, only one way to do this, chat. Murder. Murder is how we do this. Oh, Tanner 3. Interesting. Varpnir. Dude, how? How? I literally just got bodied by like some random guy. Like, basically the guy somehow lag connected. It knocked me down. And then because I was knocked down in a delayed knockdown that shouldn't have even happened then, it should have happened earlier, he just finished me off, and I never, like, even though I was pressing control by the time I got back up, it never put my shield back up. It was like 3 compounding errors that allowed that guy to just one-shot me. Bro, what? And then you get shit like that, where I've managed to run all the way back over there, and then the game's like, no, we rubber banded you back to base. Was he a boss? No. He was just a random piece of shit guy that I should have easily won against. Well, I guess Varpnir's dead. And I didn't even get anything I needed. Also, this is usually coal, so I'll pick it up. I don't even see what happened to Varpnir. He just... Bro got atomized. Oh, is that the Catan traders? They're not normally here.
These captives have been found lacking in sorcery skill, and have been set aside by our lord. Still, their backs are strong, and may prove to have a value yet, as a thrall. These captives have been found lacking in sorcery skill,
like you,
been set
we are
aside by
strangers
our
in
lord.
this accursed realm.
Still, their backs
We
are
seek a
strong,
way back to our
and
lands
may
in the
prove to
misty
have a value
east.
yet.
And though we
as
have
a
crossed
thrall.
the length and breadth of
I
this
will trade you such
hellish
captives
plane,
for
a way
ancient
out
Avalon.
remains elusive. But perhaps things have changed. Perhaps this new sorcery may show us a path to deliverance, if it can be understood.
Helm of the Mad Prophet. I actually don't know how you get the Ancient Ombrillus. I think it's like you have to do their dungeon, but I don't remember where you get their dungeon from. Okay. Oi, you got hardened steel. See, like, there's gotta be some lag, because how the fuck did I miss those? You'll always see me pick up aloe extracts because they are healing potions. And then I'll just sit there and hoard them and not use them. Damn, dude. None of them are dropping their weapons. There we go. Okay, that's hardened steel. I'll take all those materials, they're all useful. Take all those materials, they're all useful. Take that, and that, and that. Oh my god, dude. No. Jesus. Can't get them to move out of the door. Ooh, blue Stygian carpet's rare. Steel bar, silver bar, hardened steel hatchet. I can smash. Advanced weapon damage kit's also useful. If I go up there... Oh, damn, it's Ladurga. Ladurga needs to die, chat, so I'm sorry. I have to kill the hot, big, blonde mommy. I'm really just farming hardened steel because it's actually one of the easiest ways to get it. Is to just kill Vonnier guys. Oh, normal steel is also welcome. An Emir Archpriest. Dude, see, this is what happens where, like, even though I clearly hit him first, the, like, game server said no, I didn't. Now the lag is on my side. Behold the power of the rubber band. Oh, yo. Bow Shatter. And a Frost Giant Bodyguard, which I already found one of those earlier today. I don't really have any use for Heart of a Nordheimer right now. And that's Black Ice if I smash it, but otherwise no real use. That is Hardened Steel. There's a little weapon sitting there. So that's why I wanted to kill her, because this item, it is heavy, but this is a Frost Giant pet. Give me that leg. Give me that steel. Just put that in my inventory, or did I use it? I used it. Okay, nothing on him. So you can see why I use this weapon. Like, both of them are really, really good weapons. Both spear and, like, axe for just kind of space and gap closing. Come here, Hagar. Plus, my shield when it's equipped with the, Oh man, he almost got through that. Anyways, my shield when it's equipped with that, also can basically, like, shield bash people to the ground, which is really, really nice. That's how these people are getting, like, thrown. Oh shit, I'm gonna die. I don't know what happened, but my companions didn't attack right away. They just ran off, aggroed the rest of those people, then came back. And then it's like, oh, you have no stamina. And now 3 people are attacking you. It's like, bro, what? Servers, we do a little trolling here. They definitely do, and part of it's because it's being run on my stream computer as I'm streaming here. Okay, hopefully there's no repops, because we're fairly deep in there, which doesn't look like it, because I should already be able to see the guy at the entrance otherwise. The Cryptic is independent again? I mean, on one hand, that sounds nice. On the other hand, it's like, do they actually expect to continue development? Because I know, like, the same thing happened with Star Wars The Old Republic, and I don't know that it's, like... It literally, quite literally, has not been relevant since it got bought. Like, they have not, as far as I know, done anything. Also, my horse blocked me in. Feels good, man. Okay, give me that. Give me that. Dude. I'm just standing here. How did I aggro more people?
You picked the wrong fight.
Horse, please take that. Thank you, horse. Ooh, nice. That is a fragment of power. That is one of the spawn locations, the random spawn locations for them. I check it every now and then.
They're coming.
I am coming. So funny, like, watching as your companions nearly pin you to the wall. Alright, that should be enough hardened. Only thing I'm gonna do here is check the alchemists. Nope, neither of them is relevant. I just was checking to see if either of them was a named one. See, it's so much faster on horse chat. I do think mounted, like, handling in combat is really good in Conan. Like, it could be so much worse. Oh, shatter, huh? Wow, it's the same as my star metal axe. Hmm. go. One more point. We're almost to max strength. Oh yeah, crushing swings is good. STO just had a new story chapter drop about a month ago, so they are still developing it. That's wild. Yeah, because Star Trek Online's been out for a long time. See chat? Frost Giant Bodyguard. The big boy. The heap big boy. Okay, that at least got me my 200. Is that just the top side? Interesting. Never realized that. Oh well, pick all that up. I didn't need the... Usually don't need a lower rank of a thrall now. Sometimes I keep them just because, like, nostalgia, but honestly, there's no real point to it. Okay, so we're throwing our stuff in the dismantling bench just because better than throwing it on the ground and losing it. I'm gonna throw in more of the golem parts in there. Golem parts are heavy, and it's kind of annoying to build stuff without them. Okay, so put my construction hammer back on. This is the Precision Fireball Cauldron, which is what I want. And we need alchemical base and wood. So the wood we will easily have now. And the alchemical base should be back in here. So the problem that we're having is I need to expand the base. The issue is, well, as chat can see, we are having spacing problems. There we go. Okay, now I can actually craft some shit. Thank God. Let's check. Give me 1 second. Let me go check on my my pot roast. It looks so good. Problem is he doesn't have enough dancing girls. That is true. You always need more dancing girls. What do I have so much... And we'll throw salt on here for right now for lack of a better place to put it. Throw my silver ore in there. And pull that out. So usually I just take all valuables, so like silver bars, gold bars, coins, any sort of treasure that I find, like that rune stone. And they all go in here in the treasure coffer because it extends the amount that you get in terms of this. Okay. Let me also get rid of that bark. And we'll put the coal in here. And we'll put iron reinforcements and hardened steel on this. And then I am going to pick up all this brimstone. Because someone's got to. Now this I find interesting. So my baker, aka my cook, can be on here. Or I can do an Alchemist 3, but it looks like the only difference they make is crafting speed. I think that's something they do need to change. Like, they need to make it where certain crafters actually impact more than just the speed of something. Because to me, it's like, that's not really that valuable, especially on something like alchemy. I do get, it's like sometimes we mass-produce stone consolidant, but otherwise it's kind of meh to me. Okay, so we need tar. So it's tar and brimstone, and you get tar very easily from the tannery over here. I have not really used any of it yet, so I'll leave that little batch on it still, and we will bring all this over here. I'm doing pretty good, Arch. Main games I want to earn sale. I think he's looking for Elden Ring Night Rain. That is going to make a metric shit ton of steel fire. And realistically speaking, we don't actually need that much, but the reason I'm doing it is because one of the main things holding me back for crafting better benches has been my lack of steel reinforcements. Now, you can craft them the normal way from steel bars, but steel bars are actually just really annoying to make. One of the easy ways, and it requires an iron bar plus steel fire. Or I can basically do iron reinforcements, which are kind of an extra step plus steel fire to get to that. But the thing is, you can find iron reinforcements, and they are pretty damn easy to make in the grand scheme of things. So you actually get a little bit more experience. It makes it a little bit more convoluted, but not altogether that bad. Plus, normally I believe this would be 2 steel bars, but it's the garrison bench is having its effect. I gotta look out for a monitor for my nephew. If chat knows any good monitor deals, let me know. Okay, gonna let that craft. And let's see, what else do we want? We've done alchemy, we've done carpentry. Cooking is meh. Farming is meh. I've done all these. Religion, I'm not starting yet. Smithing, we have made the heat-efficient furnace. And the Garrison's blacksmith bench. Both those are kind of online. What's the precision tannery? plant-based tannery. I can never remember the differences of some of these, so sometimes I have to go look it up, chat. So let's see, tannery comparisons. Crafting speed on the precision tannery is increased. Fuel duration on the plant-based tannery. Fuel duration is accelerated on the precision tannery. Honestly, this one may be one of the few ones that I just go with the option to increase the fuel duration, because it just means less bark I have to farm. And usually I am not up against the gun for like how fast a like thing is getting made. Requires hardened leather. Interesting. Wait. Can I even make hardened leather? The armor's table. Huh. Grandmaster Blacksmith, Grandmaster Smelter, Grandmaster Tanner, Grandmaster Carpenter. Am I blind? Do I not have Grandmaster Armorer? That would do it. Okay, I was beginning to wonder because I was like, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, I knew there was some something big that I was forgetting. So campaign, and it's probably going to be the Garrison Armorer's Bench because it reduces the cost, if memory serves. What do we need for that? We need thick leather, hardened bricks, insulated wood, and, yep, more steel reinforcements. So I was right to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead, throw this over here. I'm going to say, make me all the steel reinforcements. You guys are going to see why I'm doing this here in a minute. Insulated wood. What am I missing? I'm missing the resin from that. I'm not resonating. Give me some resin from that. Come back over here. That's only enough to make 29 because I'm out of dry wood at the moment. But I will grab that. Throw that back over here. And then boom. Okay, so that will get me enough of that. Hardened brick should be okay for right at the moment. Yeah, we're kind of coming down to like I don't have very many of them left. But I thankfully seem to have enough. That's really all that matters, is that you stay ahead of your crafting needs. Okay, so then the problem is I'm just going to be waiting on stuff to craft, but I need thick leather. And I guarantee you I have smashed all of my currently existing thick leather. Thick leather is actually kind of difficult to get up here. There's two real major sources of it, and that's bears, which are somewhat rare still, and mammoths. And mammoths are not rare at all. Mammoths just have a problem of being kind of little douche nozzles when it comes to stomping. Oh wait, this is just gonna give me thick hide. Thick leather I should have. Well, I got knocked over. In the meantime, let's regret all of our life decisions. There you go. That just increased my weight so much. Oh, damn, he dead. That poor archer. Wait, what happened, Arch? Gawokster Kobold, thank you for the follow, welcome. How's it going? Okay, so let's go ahead, let's throw this in here. Yeah, there you go. I already did have thick leather. I just couldn't remember if I did or not. Is it 200 that I needed or 100? That was only 100. Damn, bro stomping on the dog. And he killed the dog. What's the dog doing? Okay, so then we need the insulated wood. It's almost done. And the steel reinforcements, which should be pretty darn close. Yeah, we're actually pretty much overkill on that. Just take out 100 of them. That's all I currently need. And I will be overkill otherwise. And that. Not exactly making the base ergonomic, but now I have it. And this is a garrison armorer's bench. With this I can craft some of the highest armors in the game. So this is definitely good getting this online. I do have the named shield right, which is really good for increasing the armor value of items that it crafts, so it's definitely good. First time someone who isn't German actually nails my name first time. Oh, really? How many male dancers has Cad sacrificed to Crom? Every single one that I've seen. You guys know the drill. Never suffer a male dancer to live. Let me put that exotic flesh. It is actually really good meat to cook with, so I will save it. I got some tusks and stuff, but I don't think any of that matters. Actually, I maybe... Nah, you know what? I will probably save... I think it's horns, tusks, and fangs all can be used in armor smithing, but it may just be horns and I may be hallucinating. The hardened steel needs to go into the dismantler. And I'm just going to throw these simple weapon enhancements over here. As well as that singular piece of thick leather. Okay, so with that, we're pretty good. You're so close to level 60. Kind of feels like I should go get it, but at the end of the day, not too worried about it. The big thing is that we have all of our stuff online, and now we have the means by which we can sort of increase the rate of materials for crafting tier 3 materials. And I'm not sure which tier 3 material I'm going to go with this time. Could be Aquilonian, could be Argosian. I'm a sucker for the Argosian ones. I feel like they just look really, really nice. You guys can see, like, a basic Argosian block takes 10 hardened bricks, 4 shaped wood, and 3 steel reinforcements. Now, the shaped wood is thankfully not too difficult to actually acquire. I'm just going to go ahead and let that be a thing. Oh, right, you can convert branches into wood, thank God. I forgot about that. Hey, thank you for the sub. Craft Khitan Legionary statues? I certainly could. I think, like, I'm just gonna get it either way. By, like, having stuff crafting on the benches, it's naturally gonna do it. And I'm that close that I don't really have to actually try for it. Thank God. Okay. So, with that in mind, let me check the steel reinforcements. How's this going? We've only got like 30 left in the tank. We keep ferrying this over. I gotta get a little bit of a lead on myself. I'm gonna go ahead and say craft as many iron reinforcements as you can after that. So that'll get me a little bit of a lead there, and then what else we got? Crafting the shaped wood, and then it's going to be the bricks. So hardened bricks are just, it's normal stone which converts into brick. But in order to make it into a hardened brick, you need a brick plus stone consolidant. So stone consolidant's going to be one of the major kind of problems that we're going to be dealing with here. So I need resin, and I need plant fiber. Now, plant fiber is just kind of an issue in and of itself. I don't have the best sickle. I also don't really care to go get one. If I find a better one, I will use that. I missed. You can see it's not very hard to get a lot of plant fiber, thankfully. And plus, seeds can be turned into oil, which is definitely nice for gear purposes, because oil is going to be predominantly used in, actually, I'll limp back to base. I was going to get rid of some stuff, but no real point. The berries are probably the only thing I don't actually need. What's up, Insane? Is this PvE? Yeah. And Hayes, thank you for the sub. If I didn't say it earlier, I can't remember if I did or didn't, but I do appreciate it. I can at least drop off the insects here. Let them start making some fish. Which, ironically enough, was enough to get me under the limit. What? How did that work? Okay, and so from there, then I will need... Where was my remaining resin? I'm going to say once I get to 200, I'm going to stop this craft, because I don't really actually need that much insulated wood. You do find insulated wood. And I'll take the remaining resin. Go. I'll let him get started on that. What did I do with all my resin? I put it somewhere. Where did I put it? What else was using resin? There we go. I put it on the bench. And so eventually, the whole purposes of all of this is going to be that we're going to be expanding the base. There you go. So that's 1,500 stone consolidant. That'll make a decent chunk of bricks, at least. And honestly, the stone consolidant will make a ton of experience. I'm going to actually cancel that. Let it start crafting that, because that will... Oh, right. It makes 10 per. I forgot about that. Oh, that's going to make a shit ton of bricks. Thank God. I could already just go ahead, chuck that in, and as you guys can see, that'll start firing through the bricks really quickly. I will, in the interim, probably go get a little bit of coal. There's not a whole lot of coal in the north. It's actually a little bit of a problem. but I'm gonna try to stay ahead of it. Or if it's, yeah, I think it is right here. Yeah, there we go. That should be enough to keep the... Whoa! Is that another one? Oh, damn it. It was just the shadow on that rock. Fuck. At certain angles, rocks look black, and then you're like, oh, it's coal, and it's not. But that is one of the very few coal spawns in the Highlands. So it's a good one to just go ahead and, like, set your base up nearby and grab. Mostly because you are going to need fuel for stuff, and, for instance, like, my heat-efficient furnace actually burns through fuel faster. Okay, keep making them bricks. You can see, here we are, we're about to hit 60 any second now. And there we go. We are at max level now. Now the game somewhat unlocks. I use heavy attacks a lot, so I really like crushing swings. I also don't feel like the advantage of Blood Mad Berserker is actually worth. There's also the possibility of just, like, making yourself into the tank character and speccing into, like, Vitality. All of that certainly possible. But now with this, we should have the early makings of base building online. Blood Mad Berserker OP. Yeah, I can definitely see, like, if you can manage your health well enough, you can do it. I'm just not confident that I'm not going to get, like, lag baited by the enemy and just get destroyed. Okay, let me fluid press all these seeds. That's going to get me a nice little chunk of oil, as we mentioned before. Same thing there. I'll also stick the berries in. It'll make some Highland berry pulp. Somehow I have more Ashura's Glory. We'll give that to my horse. My horse! That's right! And looks like he's already well on his way crafting that. Let's go get us some trees. Trees are going to be necessary because they're going to get us resin, bark, and just actual wood. A lot, and this is one of the things I like about Conan. A lot of your, like, base resources are still a resource into the, like, late game. Particularly if you're doing base building expansions and stuff. Am I on PvE? Yeah. Over encumbered already, wow. Here, hold on to that real quick. Oh yeah, katanas are definitely very usable and agile. Okay. Now with this, I'm just gonna go ahead and dump a lot of this onto the woodworking bench here. Should give me kind of what I need. I didn't get very much resin. That's the downside to this, but I mean, worst case scenario, you can dry stuff out and get the resin out of the normal wood. I wish I could turn bark into wood somehow. I don't think I can naturally, though. Oh, also, let me get him the... stuff. Then we got more resin for over here. which means that plant fiber, really, plant fiber's the hold up again. That's actually surprising. I clearly do need a better, better scythe. Okay. Should be enough. Not what I wanted to put on there. Give me that back. Both of these in here. Now you guys can see my holdup is actually going to be that I will eventually run out of bricks. And the good news is I have a star metal pick. And until I get a star metal pick axe, we're going to be using this for a lot of our just rock gathering. And for no other reason than we're just going to get a shit ton of rocks from it. You guys can see every swing I get like 100. Plus the last hit actually gives a shit ton. Already with that, we gathered about 1,800 stone. Missed me with that shit. I'm surprised they're just not taking care of the wolf. But I think it's because, yeah, it's glitched out. Wonder if it's gonna bug back to where it originally spawned. Oh, little wolf pup. You can train animals in this game. I usually just don't find it worth. It's a whole lot of work for something that amounts to being worse than guaranteeably spawnable thralls. Like, for instance, the thralls I have are a guaranteed spawn. Come on. Come on. Do it. You mean can't reach mount? I can definitely reach my mount. I know, like, that's what it is that the NPCs are, like, functionally blocking it. And that's probably the only, like, real downside to having 2 thralls from the authority perk, is that you just get trapped by them sometimes. Like, they're just cumbersome. We will definitely rapidly expand the base here in a bit. Let me throw these in. Throw all of that in. Throw that in. More oil, more pulp. And then do I have any stone actually on me? No, it is somewhere on my horse that is lost. Horse, where the f are you? Like, actually. My horse, out of all times, refuses to teleport and is just stuck in the water. I just need the stones, my dude. And so you can see he's just going to machine gun those normal bricks out, which is just going to really, really help when it comes to crafting. Okay. Now the ideas are, what do we want to build? Because we definitely need to expand space so that I have more room for crafting and stuff. Because as you guys can see, the base is definitely getting a little bit cluttered. It is 100% one of the bad things about this. Throw that in, so we got another 1,500 bricks coming. I'm gonna throw the Setite mask in the container. It's not weighing me down. I can definitely get rid of some of these bindings. I should be able to craft better ones anyways soon. See, this is the Torturer's work table. So I can get a steel truncheon, which is even better, and that's definitely something I would like to do. Steel truncheon will make them just knock people out a whole lot faster. But in the interests of that, let's go ahead and throw the steel on here. But let's go check something real fast. Thank you, ladies. Keep working them hips. Eh. Let's try not to run anybody over this time. Check some of the I wish there was a quick swap for something like that. Hey girls, you know what to do.
Set your blue red in the name of Set. Identify yourself.
Did he fall through the world again? I really hate when the game does that. Yep, he did. We're just gonna quickly teleport away. Teleport right back. Please don't kill me, game. Sometimes that will kill you. I've not really figured out how. There you go. See, now he's back on the ground. It's one of the easy ways to actually get somebody that's fallen through the world to come back, because they're not actually gone. Like, they are there. It's just like a client-side issue from what I can tell now. So I was actually not looking for this guy, by the way. But, I mean, shit, it's named Tanner. Oh. Yeah, there you go. There's Luba the Luscious. Amnut the Blessed. We're gonna go take Amnut. We're gonna put Amnut in the locker for unused thralls. And part of this is also because ever since they did the Living Settlements update, thralls definitely do, like, disappear from time to time, and it sucks. I hate it. I wish they could fix that and the falling through the world more than anything. Because both of them are the true banes of the existence of the game. I think thralls are really what make this game a whole lot of fun, but if you have a ton of, like, problems with them, it ceases to be as fun. I'm very corrupted right now. I'm gonna check the thralls here and here. There's actually one out here. Yeah, lone fisherman. He's also a named cook. Unfortunately, that would make him like my third named cook, so I actually don't care about him. Where we're gonna go in is we're gonna go in this little dungeon here. Huh? Jesus, dude. Did my thralls not come in the dungeon with me? I didn't die, right? Okay. That's weird. I've not seen them do that before. Okay, get my horse not coming in, but... Okay, so now I got one of them to come in? What's up, Katana? Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. Okay, they're both here. Now my horse came. I am so confused. Why is only one coming in and it's... You know what? I don't care. And now the other one came in. Okay. I'm genuinely confused is all it is. Unfortunate, Seth did not drop it, which was the entire point. Coming all the way here. You play PvP sometimes too? I have in the past. As of late, like in the later years here, I've mostly just focused on treating Conan as a PvE game. Oh my god. The corruption makes it so difficult to go anywhere. You know what? Let's go ahead and let's check the Setites up here as well. Oh, okay, game. Just looking to see if we have a named female priest at all. Oh. I definitely need to start building more teleport points. It will make getting around the world map without, like, cheating with admin commands, obviously, which I don't want to do. It'll make that a lot easier. Okay, so the only reason I went out there to check was just because, like, that might save me the crafting of a steel truncheon. But doesn't look like it, so we're just gonna craft steel truncheon. Definitely could use a named taskmaster, though. What this is gonna let me do, though, is destroy all of these iron truncheons, which I just don't need. And then I want the advanced blunt weapon fitting, which is also hardened steel. No. That is so unfortunate. Let him craft those 3. Gonna get the steel truncheons. Now they have even more concussive power, which is, honest to God, kind of terrifying. I need her to remove this corruption. It's becoming a plague. It's a blight, chat. Blight upon mankind. Yeah, see, here's Braggers the Baker, who's one of my names. I think that's my named Carpenter, which is nice. Actually, do I have the name Tanner? Let me see. Yeah, I have the name Tanner. I think that other name Tanner that I got is just another named Tanner. I'm still missing a named alchemist and what else was it? There was one other. Oh, is it a named taskmaster? I think it is. Yeah. Which is kind of wild. Usually I find a named taskmaster pretty easy. Actually, I think there's a guaranteed spawn of one. New server opening called Purgatory? Oh, yeah? See, like, the base is getting cramped because I can't even get to that stuff. And thank you, Spartan. I just saw the lurk tax. See, why did the Stygian carpet so heavy? Like, I legitimately don't understand. This is always sorted by heaviest first, so kind of weird to me to see, like, oh yeah, that's just legitimately that, like, diabolically heavy. All of these have some life, and they prevent me from having to repair things, so may as well put that in there. Take that because it's free real estate. But yeah, this base was always intended to be like a temporary style setup. At least for now. And I can definitely move locations if I want, but I do rather prefer the location here. Unless I just wanted to, like, live further north or something. But I have to remember exactly the, like, the splash zone of meteors if I move further north. Yeah, let me see about that, that named taskmaster. I believe he spawns out by the Sumerian mounds. There's a Reddit post about it? Yeah, I'm on the Conan subreddit, but it feels like it's dead most of the time, unfortunately. Which I do get that, like, the game is not nearly what it used to be. There's not, like, nearly as many people playing it. But it's still, to me, it's probably my most enjoyable survival game. And not even, like, I know some people really do enjoy the PvP aspect, but, like, just in general, the mechanics of the game feel really good to me. I think the only drawback is it's definitely, like, got some actual, like netcode issues. The world mesh where things fall through it. And it is definitely an older game. But I'm almost like, dude, that, like, you know, we talk about on this channel, like, what if they made an FGO 2 all the time? And I'm like, what if they made a Conan 2? That would be, like, actually amazing if they could manage to kind of, like, just reproduce this map, expand upon it, and fix some of the mechanics. There's no PvP like on Conan, yeah. They just don't make games like they used to. Did Kayotsu build this just so there would be a path? That's funny. I just gotta remember where the name Taskmaster spawns. I think it's in the Barrow Mound with the whites, ironically enough. Is it the Ravaged Barrows? Oh, somebody set up a northern base. This is the guaranteed Sumerian Berserker spawn. And at minimum, I usually do take, like, the stuff that he gives, because his loot is usually some of the best loot, just for gearing yourself up without crafting. I love that you can't actually knock them over. That's kind of terrifying. Is it in there? Over here. I think it's over here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is the one I'm looking for. I'm gonna kill this dude just so he doesn't aggro when I least want it. Okay. He's down. Now, if memory serves, The dude is in here. Yep, pretty sure that's him.
Halt! In the name of Set!
No, I won't.
Die! Like a cobra, exile, mind binding to death!
Like the Cobra exile, my fight
Yep.
is dead!
You picked the wrong fight!
Not exactly the best thing for this. There we go. Ooh, aloe extract again. Gothrad is... Yep. You can see just how fast they knock people out. It's fucking hilarious. Yeah, so that is a guaranteeably spawning named guy. Actually, I don't know if he is guaranteed, but I think he's like really high chance. I mean, I can't mount here. There we go. I have no idea what that was doing. So this will get me a name Taskmaster, which is unfortunate because if he's better at concussive damage crafting than the one that I have, then it technically means I need to remake my truncheons, but I don't care. I'll remake them when they break. Or when I get enough resources just to not care. Yeah! Almost fell off that. Getting around the world's actually pretty easy when you know the, like, quick points for where to go. That's why you see me, like, not really having to use a map at all. Is because I've played Conan so much that I know where I am. Or at least approximately where I am in just about every single moment. That's why, like, normally a trip like that would cost me this entire tether, but you don't take detours. Becomes really easy. Let's see, what type is he? I can't really tell from that, but you can see we have just plus durability, plus concussive damage, crafting speed, and reduced weight. So we'll have to see what type he is. I don't think he is the concussive damage one, though, if I remember correctly, because I remember getting him before and thinking, oh, I need to find somebody else. He's a driver, so it should be crafting time. Oh, it is concussive damage. Ugh. Shit. Man. Didn't do it. But I'm gonna do it. Because that just means they knock people out even faster. It's probably a minimal increase for all I know, but I'm a stickler for this sort of stuff. It'd be great if it refunded the attachment. I don't think it does. So now that's even better. Okay. So do I want to move the base, chat? Well, let's consider this. First, I think there's definitely... I'm tired of, like, riding up to the place up there. I definitely want another transportory stone. I need 100 silver bars, 200 bricks, 100 alchemical base, and 3 torches. That is not hard. The bigger issue would be I need 1 more sacrificial blood in a flask, and I need some other stuff. So you're going to go ahead and get to be able to use this already. God. That is such a, like, stupidly small contrivance that just always gets in the way. They need, like, a little bit more room that doesn't happen. Oh, whoa. Gustav the Reliable. Bam much, buddy?
Take you.
Jesus, they knock him out fast. Holy fuck. That is a tier 4. That is a named guy. And they knock him out in like 4 total hits? That is absurd. Hey, bro. Okay, he's on the stone. I'm gonna go back and grab the other named dude. It's funny because I've farmed this camp already so many times. That's the first time I've seen a named at it in like this entire play session. Problem is, Gustav is another builder, so he can be a replacement if my other builder girl, which was one of my early thralls, disappears, but he's gonna go in the, like, extra. Not enough space. Oh, right. It's gonna do this again. Sometimes it bugs out whenever you try to sacrifice. And I've learned the only way to fix it is to just go away and come back. So that it, like, errors out. I really do wish you could just skip this animation, though. It's, like, novel and, like, avant-garde the first couple times you see it, but then after a while, you're just like, this is just boring and takes forever. I get that it's a thing, like, for balance purposes, so that you can't just sacrifice people too quickly, but PvE-wise, it's really annoying. Okay. Craft that. Grab that. Flip that. I think it's 50 is what I need. Yep. Okay. Actually, I wonder what happens if I give her faux shatter. Okay, so before we go out there, what are the other materials that I need for that? So I need the 100 silver bars, the 100 alchemical base, and 200 bricks. Normal bricks I should have because there's just no way they're all converted. The 200 silver is a little bit more problematic. Ah, was it 200 or 100? Oh, it's 100. Thank God. I have just enough that I don't have to go on a silver run. And then the 100 alchemical base. Base. Put the fragment of power in there. And yeah, now we should be good. Now we can actually go set up a new camp. Save from silver seeking. I mean, thankfully, that's where I put up my first teleporter, because silver is an otherwise very annoying material to get. There's 2 good silver mines in the game, and if you're nowhere near them, it just fucking sucks. So, the first teleporter I always set up is over towards Supermaru, because it gives you access to Supermaru and all of its thralls, and it gives you access to the silver mine down there, and it gives you access to the nearby Brimstone Lake. So it is just one of the best locations. Like, if you don't want to settle up in the Highlands for, like, the easy access to the north and all of the thrall camps up here, Supermaru is the next best location, in my opinion, just for centrality of resources. Because, and I quote, ain't nobody got time for that. Gotta find a sacrificial dagger with plus 5% sacrificing speed. That would be great, honestly. Like, if such a thing existed, I would build it. Or, like, you know what they should do? They should make it where if you do have, like, a named sorcerer nearby, it vastly speeds up sacrifice time. Because I think that's one of the problems, is, like, named sorcerers don't do dick in this game. There's really no point to having them. It's only if you're crafting magic, and even then, all they affect is the crafting speed, which is just actually kind of dumb. Now I know where I am. Or do I? This is the problem with traveling at night. It just gets so hard to see. You know where you are, but you don't know exactly where you are. Okay, so they do have their weapons equipped. We'll follow Kayotsu's markings. Really? Stone, huh? Say that again, game. It's literally because they're on the platform and I fucking know it. Horse! Stop! Go over there! Go! 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 Jesus. That's why we can't have nice things. Yeah, I'll just make a sandstone fence. I... Wait, can't you make a gate? Like a fence gate? Or am I just imagining things? Yeah, I think you can do it with the stables. Okay. Now with that set up, oh, yeah, he's gonna actually kill the Frost Giant bodyguard. This is a demonic wolf, corrupted one. Fucking hate these things, dude. Give me your demon blood. You know what? I think I'm gonna steal the chest piece from this archer. Because she don't need it. And I can tell you who will. Hey, you know what? I'll be fine. Okay. Asgarth is what we're renaming this. Take me to the mounds of cinnamon. Chat, behold the dancer. Feels so ass backwards, dude. They're decked out, but they're slooty dancing. I'm actually gonna let them have their spears. I was gonna change them out for some star metal, but I don't really think it's necessary. They're really just here to guard the portal more than anything. The problem is they're just tier 1 dancers. It's actually a job better suited for somebody that has a little bit more of a, like, capability to them. But you can see, so if you just wait here for a little bit, boom, there you go, your taint goes away. Alright, let's test them.
But I will.
I mean, it looks like they were able to handle their own. Spears do be kind of OPP like that. Okay, so why did I want to build this up here in the first place? I know I was tired of, like, coming up here for various different things. But I feel like there was an actual specific reason that I was doing it. And now I don't remember at all. Thank you, Drifting. Appreciate it, my man. We need our own Kali Ma, man. Yep. Oh my god, why did they change what their dance was? Yeah, so now we basically have a teleporter at base, we have a teleporter all the way up here, we have a teleporter all the way down here. So, like, we have the west half of the map covered. The only pain will be if I need to go to the fucking jungle or the fucking south. That just is what that is, though. I don't remember. I don't remember why I was building one there. There's a definite reason. The jungle is rough over there. It definitely is, dude. I'm not a huge fan of the jungle biome. I know several people that love it. I find it to be the most difficult biome to get around, just because it's designed in a way that traveling along the floor of the biome is just really problematic. Hmm. Argosian Foundation. Well, you know what? Do we actually want to build here? The demon blood on there. Gonna put the feral flesh in here. I have Sumerian Feast at least. Okay, so chat, let's go check out the north. What do you say? What's the worst that could happen? Anyways. Okay, they do have their weapons equipped. They're gonna need that. And therein lies a problem. Okay, so actually, before we do this, let's double check. You hit me. Hmm. The meteors definitely go up on that ridge. The game sound effects kind of died there. It's because I was tabbed out. I was you googling. Yeah, the problem with this area is it's extremely hostile. And what I mean when I say extremely hostile is extremely hostile. Like, to the point that everything wants to kill you. It is kind of annoying. I don't remember if you can build on the lake or not. That's why I gathered there. Yeah, building is not allowed here. Things get so damn ornery, dude. Like, you can see everything is coming after me. This is why I normally don't build this far north. It is just problematic by nature. Cat, you getting the vibe of this place yet? You go into the forest, everything wants to kill you. Jesus, dude. Hey, what's up, Squeege? How you been, bud? This is definitely, in my opinion, one of the worst areas because of it. It is also, like, I think much to my dismay, they did not put a singular thrall camp up here. So it is very far removed from anything like that. By the way, chat, when you hear that, like, bass drop when the mammoth slams the ground, that'll actually knock you over if you're close enough to it. It's kind of oof. That's why, like, if anything, I usually prefer the next valley over. Because it is far less, how should I put it? Aggressive? It's also a little bit more centrally located for, like, black ice. Less so for star metal. The other valley is much better for star metal, and that is why it is... Bro, I'm... I was gonna say, I legitimately cannot see. Huh. Tongue of the Serpent Man, interesting. I like how I'm just stuck in this event because it just refuses to change the lighting back. Meanwhile, if I put this away... Me see nothing! Oh, that's actually somebody, huh? Sometimes I actually hate these events. Oh, okay, you can break it. Yo, Zamorian stuff. Alright. Loot from that was not bad. Who are you? Okay, you're actually kind of crap, so... Goodbye! Game, please, just let me mount my horse. Legitimately all I care about. I'm glad that was at least one that I could easily clear. Can I go down this way? Yeah. Thought so. Yeah, I find this to be a much more scenic and beautiful valley. And it's not as full of, like, wildlife trying to brutally murder hobo you. Okay, chat. Special dispensation just because I don't want to have it go dark on me. So I have changed it to dawn. Instead of dusk. You have a love for Priest of Ymir? Yeah, I do. Is it, like Anastra or Anastasia or some shit? That one, yeah. Are you at New Asgarth? Give me chat. Just for a better aerial view. Gotta love running out of stamina while flying. I have built my base up in this entire valley before. But I'm debating here. 'Cause I actually do kind of like this location. East-south from here? Yeah. Granted, it would be a lot of work to move everything all the way up here. And this doesn't actually have proximity to anything other than the volcano. Do I want a scenic base? I think we'll make do. Where's my horse? What do you guys do with my horse? My horse. That's a nice looking area in the frost spot. Yeah. Like I said, my only issue with the frost spots is that there's not really like thrall camps up here. So there's not. It's kind of like an in-game base, and there's not even really that big of a reason to do it. Just if you, I guess, you like the frozen aesthetic. Every once in a while, I get like a bug up my ass, and I feel like I really want to put a base up here. But I've done it like 3 times before, and it works out. It's just, it's problematic because you have to travel long distances, so unless you make active uses of the teleporters, there's really just no point. Hi, Bear. Yeah, look, it's Bear Grylls. The river here can also be a nice spot for people. That's where, up that river is actually where we built our base, last time. Which, at least it was still next to a thrall camp, so it was not the worst thing in the world. It's just, the thrall camp it was next to was not the best either. And that's something like, again, I would love to see them expand the map more and provide more, like, major thrall hubs. I think the ones that the game has right now are kind of meh. Yeah, game? My horse got stuck in a rock. Not gonna turn around. No, 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 wait. That's right, I forgot. You use a lot of water if you're, up in the cold areas. It doesn't, like... It doesn't feel like you should, but basically your food and your water go down a lot faster if you're in the cold biomes. Same thing with the volcano. And part of the reason why is to actually, like, ramp up the survival mechanics for the end of the game. There we go. I like how she's just dancing inside of that even though nobody asked her to go there. Okay, chat. I have got some thinking to do. I'm gonna go ahead and end it like 5 minutes early. I told you guys I'd be on until 9, but well, we gonna be done here. So let me send you guys. Let me see who's on. Mr. Fox versus on. So I'm gonna send you guys over to Fox. I should be on again tomorrow, chat. We'll do more FGO. I know it's Thanksgiving for a lot of you guys. If you don't come to stream, not gonna hold it against you. It is what it is. But again, I am not gonna be celebrating Thanksgiving on Thursday this year. It'll be on Sunday for me. So no stream Sunday because of that probably. Unless that ends up being our makeup D&D night, but we'll see. So again, thank you guys for watching. Go give Mr. Fox my love. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.